Hi guys, and this is the video on how to create a so what conclusion. And a so what conclusion has basically two parts. So part one is what you've probably been taught in your other classes to do a conclusion, which is to restate your argument and your thesis, to go over what you just told your audience in your essay. What is it that you want them to know? A so what conclusion has a second part. Okay, so we have part two, which is the so what. Why do we care? Why should the reader care? And how does this problem or solution work in present society? So it's relating whether you're talking about a fiction text like Bowen, or you're talking about nonfiction text like Lakoff and Deutscher. Why should the reader care? And how does this work out in the world outside of their articles or their short stories? Okay? So I'm going to show you guys an example, and it's color-coded, so you guys can see the different parts of this. Okay? So in the red part, we're restating the argument and the thesis. So we're talking directly about the text. So we're talking about a poem called Empty Hallways. We're talking about how we see it, what's happening. These are things that they would have gone over in their essay. So this is the kind of their overall point. And it's directly about that text. So that's why it's in that red. It's restating the argument and sort of the thesis. Okay? The blue part is where we are understanding the larger thing, the why should readers care, how does this problem solution present society. So immediately they say reflects the current society and seen throughout. Schools, now we're talking about generic schools, not schools just the one in the poem, but schools outside of that poem. And so they're kind of relating it to a larger picture. So more universal, can touch base with more people. So we're kind of getting to this idea of like, how does this actually work in society and why does the reader care? Okay? So here's an example that hasn't been highlighted yet. So first we're going to look and see where is their restatement of their argument and their thesis. Should be about 1 to 3 sentences. So we have a 6-period day is a better option for students. It allows them to become closer to their teachers and subjects and allows more time to spend on new learning. Okay, there it is, 2 sentences. Their connection to exactly what they're talking about. This is the direct argument, a restatement of their thesis. We're not getting any new information here, and we're not really making it super larger than it already is. Okay? However, then we go into our so what. So remember, our so what questions are why should the reader care? And how does this problem solution work in present society? So here we have, as the world becomes more global, all of a sudden we're talking about a more global situation. Okay? So I'm not going to highlight this whole thing green because it might be a little hard to read, but I'm going to kind of point out some things. So we're talking about advantages and budget cuts, prioritizing, and then we kind of come back to our final point so that readers know why we care. What should we get out of this? Okay? It's a good argument of strategy, especially for something that may seem like not someone's priority. Okay? But honestly, there is only 2 steps to a so what conclusion. Right? There is our first step of restating our thesis and our points, and then the why should the reader care? How does this work more universally? Okay? So total right now, you're not writing a very long essay. Probably 1 to 3 sentences for the first part, and 3 to 4 sentences for the second part. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know.